Oh. Greetings, everybody. I had a little problem with the link, but it seems to be going just fine right now. Welcome. We have a night game here tonight, and those are very special to me. This will be the second of a four-game series. The Chicago White Sox at the Cleveland Indians. We're in Municipal Stadium. And we'll go through our lineups to get us started. And I'll put the fielding ratings while I'm in the process of that. Leading off is Walt Williams in left field. He is a 3+1. Batting second, Louis Aparicio at shortstop. He's a 2. Batting third, Gale Hopkins at first. He's a 3. Batting fourth, Bill Melton playing third. He's a 3. Batting fifth, Carlos May, left-hander, playing right field. He is a 4+1. Batting fifth, Buddy Bradford. He will play center. He's a 3-2. Batting fifth, Ron Hansen. He plays second base and he is a 3. Don Pavlitic catching in place of Ed Herman. The catcher, he is a 4+2. And the pitcher, Joe Horlen, he is a right-hander. He's a 3WR4. Horlen is a 3. For the Cleveland Indians, the lineup is basically the same with a few minor changes. Jose Cardinal will lead off at center. He's a 2-1. Dave Nelson at second base. He is a 3. Frank Baker. You want to say Frank Home Run Baker, I bet. He's in left field. He is a 4+1. The cleanup hitter is Tony Horton. At first base, he's a 4. Batting 5th, moving from the 4th position, the 3rd position. He's played different spots in the lineup. In right field, Ken Harrelson, he's a 4-1. The catcher is Duke Sims. He is a 3-0. Batting 7th at 3rd base, Lou Klimchak. He is a 4. Eddie Leon bats 8th at short. He's a 4. And the hard-throwing Sam McDowell, a left-hander, and he is a 2WL. 2WL, 3 in the field. So those are our lineups. Oh, excuse me. Oh. And we're ready to play. I expect the Cleveland Indians to take the field very shortly. There we go. There we go. The White Sox beat the Cleveland Indians 8-0 in the first game. It was a Tommy John shutout, a complete game shutout. Some of you may remember. The White Sox come into this in fourth place, 29.5 games behind the first place Minnesota Twins in the West. The Cleveland Indians are in dead last in the National League East. They're a whopping 35 games behind, so they don't have much to lose here. I'll tell you that. Neither of these teams do. The tweet is just about ready to come up. We're glad that you've decided to join us here for this night game. That should bring the tweet up. It is up, and it looks good. Yes, it does. There it is. And we welcome you to Municipal Stadium. Something special about night games, I'll tell you that, with Strat-O-Matic. And the Indians take the field. Here's big Sam McDowell. Big, hard-throwing left-hander. You can expect to see some strikeouts by McDowell. And he takes his warm-ups, and Walt Williams will be the first batter. I'm planning to make this a nice leisurely ball game. Nice and leisurely, if you know what I mean. Crowd is about 15,000 here at Cleveland Municipal. Not too bad considering that they are in last place, 35 games behind, and we're not even in August. And Kathy Horlen has arrived with those beautiful Irish eyes, always smiling. We wish Kathy Horlen a happy St. Patrick's Day, along with anybody else who celebrates. Okay, Walt Williams steps in. The White Sox order is filled. Well, there's two left-handers against the southpaw McDowell. Here's Walt Williams now to start it off. McDowell gets the sign from Duke Sims. He's into his windup. And the pitch to Williams. 6-7. Fly ball to right. Carlos May. I'm sorry. Hawk Harrelson makes the catch, and we have one away. We're underway here at Municipal. So McDowell retires Williams. Here's Louis Aparicio now. Aparicio, a right-handed hitter. Great to be here with you on the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network for a bona fide night game starting at 7. We'll see how long I'm able to do it. Considering the ingestion I need to be taking of cannabis. It's medical cannabis, so we'll see. Sometimes in Strat-O-Matic, the broadcaster gets pulled for relief and the game gets suspended. We've had that happen, I think, twice. Oh. Okay, McDowell is ready now. Here's his pitch to Aparicio. That's a 4-7. He walked him. Louis Aparicio on first with one out, being held. There'll be a 1-13 on Sims. And Gail Hopkins is the batter. McDowell works from the stretch now. And here's the pitch to Hopkins. 6-2. Walked him. McDowell has walked two batters in succession with one out. And Bill Melton, a right-handed hitter. And there's a strike called on Melton. Beautiful evening, clear skies. There's hardly any wind to speak of. Just a tad humid here, about 81 degrees. This is July 30, 1969. McDowell with first and second one out. Here's the pitch to Melton. 4-9. Struck him out. So there's number one by Sam McDowell. 2 down for Carlos May. A lefty situation. Hopkins on first, Aparicio on second, 2 down. Top of the first, just underway here. White Sox at Indians. And May fouls it back and out of play. I just love the way this looks on the monitor. It's sort of like a hyper realism. You know what I'm saying? It's really cool. I like it. And you were right about that, Kathy. The visual, it is a disconnected feeling, the radio version. Just something about it isn't right. I remember I did some of these on Spaces, but they didn't attract the attention. Those were audio only, but that's supposed to be audio only. So 2 outs. There's a ball low on Carlos May. 2 outs, first and second. McDowell trying to get out of this with Carlos at the plate. And there's a strike called. So it's a full count now on Carlos May with 2 outs, first and second. Much better, Kathy Harden. Okay, McDowell now, and the payoff pitch to May. 4-8, and he grounds it to second. That's going to be for Nelson, who throws it over to Horton, and the side is out. McDowell gets out of it. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, a strikeout, 2 left. And after a half an inning, it's Chicago nothing and Cleveland coming to bat. And here's Joe Horlen, the White Sox starter. He was 13-16 real world, 3.78, 35 starts. He has a fair home run ratio, an average strikeout ratio. And leading it off for Cleveland will be Jose Cardinal. Jose, right-handed hitter. Horlen is ready for his first pitch of the ball game. Into his windup, and here's the pitch to Jose. 2-8, and he singles up the middle. Jose always in the middle of stuff. I think Jose is probably the best all-around player on this Cleveland ball club. He's a threat to steal. He'll be 1-2-17 being held on the arm of Pavlitic. Here comes Dave Nelson now. Cardinal likes to run on the first pitch. Horlen from the stretch. The wind up. There goes Cardinal, and he's safe. And that was a ball thrown to Nelson. So Jose has stolen second to get something going here for the Tribe. Who do you want, Kathy Harden? Who do you like tonight? I want Cleveland. I'm not really married to it, though. You know what I'm saying? Just this Cleveland ball club, God, what they're going through. So Cardinal on second, scoring position already. Nobody out, bottom of the first. And Dave Nelson is the batter. She wants Cleveland, like me. Huh. Okay, let's go for Cleveland. And you know how impartial I am. I cover for both teams, even when I hate it. And by making my biases known, it helps me manage both teams fairly. Make those subconscious biases aware, and then you can deal with them. Nelson at the plate, Horlen from the stretch with Cardinal at second, nobody out. Whoa, oh, that die fell. Oh, shit. And it went under something. Oh, I'm on my hands and knees. Oh, shit. There it is. Ugh. That will be a re-roll. That's the time I get on my hands and knees. Okay, Horlen is ready. Here's the pitch to Nelson. 1-11. He grounds it to short, and Aparicio throws it over to Hopkins for the out. Cardinal holds. Otherwise, it would have been a force if he was at first. So it's one out with Cardinal on second. Here comes Frank home run Baker. Imagine that, playing that season, 1911. Well, Baker at the plate. Left-handed hitter brought in. Cleveland has at least 2 chances here to bring in a run. Here's Horlen now, the pitch to Baker. 4-4. He grounds it to short. That's for Aparicio. Uh-oh, 11-2 doesn't sound good. No, it is. He throws him out, and Cardinal holds. That looked like a double play ball had Cardinal been on first, so Cardinal's stolen base has been very valuable thus far, but there's 2 outs. But Tony Horton is the batter, and this guy is always dangerous. It's 2 outs, Cardinal on second. A very, very nice, quiet, leisurely ball game here. Tony Horton now. And the pitch from Horlen. That's 5-7. And that's a base hit up the middle. Cardinal rounding third, scores easily. A 2-out clutch run-scoring single by Tony Horton off of Horlen, and Cleveland leads it 1-0. Wait a minute. 5-7. That was a that was a base hit. So Horton on first with 2 outs, 1 in. Look how valuable Cardinal is. Stealing second, scoring with 2 outs. Here comes Hawk Harrelson. And Horlen now. The pitch to Hawk. 2-7. And that is a fly ball to left. It's hit well, but Walt Williams is there. And the side is retired. Looks clean to me. There was 1 run by Cleveland on 2 hits, both singles. The single by Cardinal, he stole second, and with 2 outs, Horton knocked him in. He was left on base. After 1, it's 1-0 Cleveland. And we hope you're enjoying watching Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network, SBN. Thank you very much, Rich Strickler. It's a very, very kind thing for you to say, sir. That's a very, very kind piece of feedback. I think I'm going to pin your message. There it is. We could pin Kathy Horlen all night long, but, you know, we pinned that, and actually I'm kind of laid back tonight. I'm actually being more professional than usual. Well, we head to the top of the second, and here comes McDowell. He did walk 2 batters, but got out of it, struck Melton out. And leading it off will be the center fielder, Buddy Bradford. Yeah, you got to bring it to life, Rich. You know? You really got to bring these games to life. It's fantasy baseball. And I want to tell you that I live my fantasies very, very seriously. Seriously. I mean, I know it's not real, but what I like to do is get into it as a fantasy. Do you remember when you were a kid, make-believe? Well, it's not that much different. And if you have a good imagination, you can really feel like this is going. And I'm going to tell you, in this season, doing the entire 69 replay, the biggest story of the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're calling them the Amazing Pirates. And they have a, I don't know what it is now, 6.5 game lead, something like that, over the Cubs. Mets are playing 500 baseball, which is the best record they've ever had in their franchise history this late in the season. So we move away from the idea that they're not so great on Strat-O-Matic paper, but executed in the real world. That's besides the point. They're paying 500 baseball. Can you imagine that? If we, New York Mets fans would have been very, very, very satisfied. Here's Buddy Bradford facing McDowell, top of the second. 1-0 Cleveland. And McDowell, the pitch to Bradford. 4-7. And he walked him. That's the 3rd walk given up by Sam. Sam's endurance doesn't play until the 8th inning. Horlen in the 7th. Ron Hansen will step up now with Bradford on first, no outs, top of the second. Chi Sox trail by 1. Hansen, right-handed hitter. And that's called strike to Hansen. I like to throw in a ball and a strike, a foul ball every once in a while, just to give the feeling of a game, you know, as a game really is. From the stretch, McDowell now. Bradford on first, no outs. The pitch to Hansen. That's 5-4. And that's a chopper to third. Scooped by Klimchuk. He's a 4. 15-4. And he boots it. He scoops it and boots it. So Klimchuk charged with the error. And it's first and second. Nobody out. And that's a problem. 1969 is the greatest year to play. You're a Phillies fan. I got to tell you something. The Phils are, well, let me do it for you. And the team had an awful lot of personality. No doubt about that. They're in dead last, behind the expansion Montreal Expos. They're 7 full games behind the Expos. You know, they had at one point in June, much of June and July, Callison, Dick Allen, and DJ, Darren Johnson, were all out with injuries. Johnson came back first, and now they're all back. I mean, they're bad enough. You know what I'm saying? First and second, nobody out. And Don Pavletich, the catcher, steps in. Infield at double play depth. Here's McDowell now. The pitch to Pavletich. 4-7. He walked him. So McDowell has walked the bases, loaded the bases with Chicago Chi Sox. I got to tell you, 69, you're talking about the 69 year. It's about the best there is in modern day, I think. That's just me, though. There's other greats. Everyone likes their coffee a different way, you know. So I was thinking of doing the 1911 season, but I have a deep concern about playing a season before the color line was broken, you know. So I sort of have mixed feelings about it. So that's still all up in the open, and that's a good year from now. So we'll continue enjoying this replay, and that's an important part of this, not just to play it for the outcome, the playoffs, the World Series. Play it to enjoy the games. What, you know, do you know how much it is? Time to play 1,216? That's, by the way, out of 1,944. So you do the math, about 2 a game. This is our 3rd today. 2 a day will take about a year. Well, McDowell in a real jam here. And Joe Horlen is the batter. They're going to really scrimp here, try to avoid a run, bring the infield in, try to cut off Bradford at third on a ground ball, but hopefully strike Horlen out. Here's the pitch from McDowell. That's a 6-7 left-hander, and he struck him out. He's a right-hander, I'm sorry. He flies to right. I am so sorry. Horlen is a right-hander. He flies to right, and that will bring in the run. And I don't know if Mr. Perota is here, but we could sure use you now, but I'm going to say that that's earned. But we'll wait for Mr. Perota for the final ruling. So it's first and second with 1 out. It's a 1-1 ball game now. And here comes Walt Williams. Flew to right in the first. McDowell from the stretch, and the pitch to Williams. 4-7, he walked him. So McDowell in trouble here in the second, no doubt about it. He's loaded the bases again with 1 out and 1 in for Louis Aparicio, who walked last inning. McDowell has thrown 5 base on balls thus far. Here's the pitch to Aparicio. 2-7. Grounds it back to McDowell, throws it to second, to first, and that's a double play. The side is out. So that's just what the Cleveland Indians needed. There was 1 run on no hits, 3 walks, an error, a sacrifice fly, 2 left on. We're heading to the bottom of the second. It's a 1-1 ball game. And Horlen comes on out. Turns out Horlen tied this ball game with a sacrifice fly to help the cause. Nothing wrong with that. Duke Sims, the batter. Now, Duke has power. Be careful. Horlen now. And the pitch to Duke. That's a 2-4. Grounds it to third. Melton cannot get it. Goes through for a base hit. So Sims leads off with a single off Horlen. And Lou Klimchuk steps into the batter's box. Lou, a left-handed hitter against Horlen, the righty. Horlen from the stretch now with Sims on first, no outs. And the pitch to Klimchuk. That's a 2-7, and he singles right up the middle. Sims goes to second, and he will hold. You bet his ass he'll hold. He's a 1-9, -2. So it's first and second, nobody out. Horlen in trouble again for Eddie Leon, but it's still a very nice, clean sort of ambiance we have, Kathy Harden. I would trust you believe that. Okay, Horlen facing Eddie Leon, first and second, nobody out. Here's the pitch from Horlen. 2-6, and it's hit well to left field, but playable by Walt Williams, 1 out, and the runners hold. And here comes Sam McDowell. He's a left-handed hitter, 1 out, first and second. We are in Municipal in Cleveland. The official gate is not in, but we estimate in the neighborhood of 14 to 15,000 here. The place holds 80. Oh, yes. Oh, Lord. Okay, Horlen now from the stretch. First and second, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Sam. 5-10, left-hander, fly ball right. Shallow, coming in, Carlos May makes the catch, and the runners hold. So it's 2 away in the Cleveland second. Horlen trying to get out of this. And here he comes, Jose Cardinal. The most consistent, all-around, great player on Cleveland. AA, 1-17, B bunter, 257, okay. You know, he's a AA. And he's good in the field, 2-1. Don't play him at third. Unless you're in a pinch. First and second, 2 down. Horlen now. Cardinal singled, stole second, and came home on Horton's base hit. Here's the pitch. 5-3. It's grounded back to Horlen. He's a 4. 5-4. Oh, and that's a double through the middle, through the line. Cardinal doubles. It's a stand-up. Sims scores. Klimchuk to third. Cleveland leads it 2-1. Jose Cardinal. The ball, Horlen just couldn't even get to it, and it went right in the gap to the wall, hit hard. Cleveland leads it 2-1 now. Second and third, 2 outs for Dave Nelson. Cardinal's been doing this all year. Here's Horlen now. The pitch to Nelson. This is with 2 outs. 3-9. And he grounds it to third. Melton has it, throws it over to Hopkins, and the side is retired. But another run for Cleveland off of Joe Horlen on 3 hits and 2 left. The big double by Cardinal. Right in the middle of everything today. The only thing he doesn't have is a putout, but that will probably happen. Well, here's Sam McDowell. He had a troublesome. He's had trouble both innings. He walked 2 in the first, walked 3 in the second, along with an error and a run scored. But it's a 2-1 ball game. McDowell has the lead. Gale Hopkins will lead it off, and he walked in the first, Gale did. Yeah. Okay, Hopkins steps right into the box. McDowell is ready. And here we go, top of the third. McDowell in his windup, and the pitch to Hopkins. 1-4, pops it up to second. Under it is Nelson, and that's 1 away. And that is the way to do it, Sam McDowell. Now Bill Melton comes up. He struck out, only strikeout thus far for Sam. McDowell winds, and the pitch to Melton. 5-7. Struck him out again. And that's his second. So Melton walks off frustrated, dejected. 2 outs. And here comes Carlos. Left-handed hitter. And McDowell, the pitch. 1-8. Grounds it to second. And Nelson has it, throws over to Horton. There's a 1-2-3 for McDowell with a strikeout. That's a McDowell. And in the middle of the third, it's 2-1 Cleveland. And we're having a great time here at the ballpark. We travel all over the country, following every game. People don't know how we do it. It's called, what's the name of that technology? Breaking down matter, cloning, and all sorts of things like that. Here's home run Baker to lead it off against Horlen. It's a 2-1 ball game, Cleveland. Batting in the bottom of the third. Baker grounded to short. Here's the pitch from Horlen. 5-9. Struck him out. That's the first strikeout by Joe Horlen tonight. And now Tony Horton comes up. Tony singled Cardinal home after he got a base hit and stole second. And with 2 outs, Horton in the clutch brought him home for the first Cleveland run. Now Horton's up with 1 out, nobody on. Horlen winds, and the pitch. 4-8. Fly ball right. Under it is Carlos May. And he makes the catch. It's 2 down. Hawk Harrelson is the batter now. Hawk flew to left in the first. Hawk's had a tough season here with Cleveland. Only recently has he started hitting better for average, but we have not seen many home runs from him at all, and he had 30 in real world. 30. His average was 221, but he has been, that's, but that was He was an exciting acquisition. Ron McGrath, my mother used to have a saying, better late than never. So we welcome you here to the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network, and this is a doozy, sir. It's a night game with a 7 p.m. Eastern start. Cleveland leads it 2-1. It's McDowell pitching for Cleveland. Horlen currently pitching to Cleveland for the White Sox with 2 outs, nobody on, and Hawk Harrelson. 2-1 Cleveland. And the pitch, 1-8. Grounds it to short. That's for Aparicio. And he throws it over to Hopkins. And the side is retired. Nice inning for Joe Horlen. 1, 2, 3. And after 3, it's 2-1 Cleveland. And we're heading to the top of the 4th. Sam McDowell finally looked like Sam McDowell last inning. Retiring the side in order with a strikeout. He was in trouble in the first 2 innings. Did allow a run in the second. It's 2-1 Cleveland. And McDowell. Bradford leads it off. He walked and scored the only Chicago run. He was brought home on Horlen's sacrifice fly to right. Here's the pitch to Bradford. 6-11. Fly ball right. Going back, Hawk for a base hit. And Bradford leads off with a single. Nice piece of hitting there by Buddy Bradford on a very, very tough pitch there from McDowell. Ron Hansen comes up. McDowell from the stretch. And the pitch to Hansen. 5-9. Struck him out. And that's the 3rd by McDowell. So 1 out. Bradford on first. Don Pavlitic is the batter now. He walked in the second. And that's fouled away right to the backstop. The glass area right behind the plate. Okay, McDowell from the stretch. Pitch to Pavlitic. 6-11. A fly ball to right. Wait a minute. That's to right. Going back, Hawk again. And he makes the catch. Hawk Harrelson with a running catch in right field, and Bradford holds. Nice play by Hawk. 2 down. And Joe Horlen will hit. In fact, why not? He knocked in the only run of this ball game with a sacrifice fly, bringing home Bradford. Right now, though, Bradford's on first, not third, with 2 outs. Okay, McDowell is ready. Here's the pitch to Horlen. 3-8, and he struck him out, and that's the 4th strikeout by McDowell, and he gets out of it. A good inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We're in the middle of the 4th inning here at Cleveland Municipal on a very humid summer evening. And Joe Horlen will come out to pitch the bottom of the 4th. He retired the side in the 4th. This is the bottom of the 5th. Yeah, bottom of the fourth. And leading it off will be Duke Sims. Sims singled and scored on Cardinal's double to make it 2-1. Okay, Horlen. Here's the pitch to Sims. Walked him. He walked him. Horlen walks Sims on a 3-8. Can you imagine if you had an announcer, and I think the world is ready for this, if you had like baseball announcers who were, they did all sorts of crap, talked about all sorts of crap, coughed, and, not the coughing, but you want to talk about one guy who's like that, but he's now, he announced much less games last year because he's 80-something years old, Bob Uecker. Great announcer. And he'll sometimes be so funny. He'll just crack you up. Okay? Okay, Klimchak at the plate, left-hander against Horlen, the righty. It's Sims on first. Cleveland batting. They lead 2-1. The pitch to Klimchak. And that is a base hit for Lou Klimchak right over second base. Sims goes to second, will hold. And Cleveland's got something going again with first and second, nobody out. And Eddie Leon comes up. He flew to left. Williams in the second. McDowell on deck. First and second, no outs. Okay, Horlen from the stretch. The pitch to Leon. 4-6. Struck him out. Oh, that was a big one by Horlen. Striking out Leon. And here comes Sam McDowell, the pitcher, infield, double play depth. I'm sure Cleveland would be satisfied if he struck out rather than cause a double play. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. I have some weird sort of ways of looking at baseball, So it's 2 outs, first and second, but look who's coming up. Jose Cardinal. And, Kathy Harden's been with us for so many games. We are getting to know all the players on all the teams. And, you really got to like Jose Cardinal. And I remember him. I remember when he was traded to the Cubs, and he was very valuable for the Cubs in center field. Always in the middle of things, good things. So here he comes up in a big clutch situation. It was clutch in the second with 2 outs, and he knocked home Sims. It was clutch when he scored on Horton's base hit, when he scored from second. 2 outs. Well, we got 2 outs, first and second. Cardinal, Horlen, and the pitch to Jose, 1-6, and he walked him. Jose ain't swinging at crap. If he wants to put them on, put them on. And the bases are loaded with Cleveland Indians. And I was against once my consciousness was raised, I became against all names of races, Indians, Braves, Redskins, you name it. Braves are doing theirs next year. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's easy for white people, but, how would you like it if there was a team, the New York Jews, the New York Whites, so please. But we will call them the Indians, because it's part of the history. But we'll also talk about it. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Dave Nelson. Is this the same Dave Nelson who eventually went to Texas? Anybody at all? It's a bases loaded situation. Nelson can break it wide open. He's 0 for 2. The pitch from Horlen. 5-7. And that is a base hit for Nelson. Oh my. Oh, and the crowd's just loving it. Sims scores. Klimchak scores. Cardinal slides into third. It's a 2-run single. It happened again. This time, Cardinal was part of it. Not instrumental, but yeah. Wow, and it's a 4-1 ball game. Dave Nelson in the clutch. Let's look at that again. 5-7, 9. 5-7. It's a base hit. Advance 2. It's 4-1. And they're coming out. They're gonna have a talk with Joe Horlen right now, with Frank Baker due up. There's going to be a little conference going on, and I want to tell you, during this conference, to decide if they're going to keep him in, I'm going to sneak out and get myself some in the outside world for about 2 to 3 minutes. When we come back, it will be home run Baker with bases, with first and third, 2 out. And Horlen trying, for God's sakes, to get out of this. I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes. Absolutely. This is a night game. I need to... And the greatest thing about it is that these people wait for me, okay? They wait for me, okay? Even though there is a conference with Horlen. I forgot who the White Sox manager was. I'll be back 2 or 3. 2 or 3 minutes. And we're doing it, people. We're doing a night game, rare for me, but a challenge. Oh. Folks, if any of you are interested, at the conclusion of this ball game, which will probably be about 8:30, give or take. If I have the wherewithal, I'm going to be doing an audio-only Twitter space. All you do is go to my account, and it's going to be on a controversial topic after Putin has been, for all intents and purposes, indicted and is under arrest, wanted for arrest, for war crimes, namely abduction of Ukrainian children. How frickin' heartbreaking can that be? That's evil. In order to adopt them and Russianize them. They get them on that. No mention of the destruction of residential buildings and civilian targets intentionally. Well, I have a controversial take, and it's based on work I've done in studying Noam Chomsky. I don't agree with everything of him, but you got to listen to him. According to him, if the Nuremberg principles are applied, every post-World War II president committed war crimes. And the ICC, International Criminal Court, which has indicted Putin, is followed by 123 nations. We are not one of them. Why? Take a guess. And I'll be talking about that, and we'll see if we have any takers. Folks, Joe Horlen, while we were away, the trainer's been out, and it turns out we don't have a definitive answer, but we think something is wrong with his back and his arm, the upper arm, and he's being removed from this ball game. And there's going to be a new pitcher. So Horlen pitched 3 2/3 and just lost it there with 2 outs in the third time in the game, all of them 2 outs. He allowed 7 hits, and we hope he will be okay. He's injured. That's why the new pitcher is going to get some time here. He walked 2, struck out 3, was good at times, but he has allowed 4 runs, and he's responsible for first and third 2 out. So Joe is out, and coming in, oh my God. Shit. Oh Christ, Dan Osinski. Give him a minute to take some pitches on the mound. It happens. Home run Baker coming up. Osinski is ready. 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th. First and third 2 in, 4-1 Cleveland. 6-6. Struck him out. And the side is retired. It was a combined struck out the side. 2 runs, though, for Cleveland on 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 left. It's 4-1 Cleveland after 4. And Sam McDowell has a lead here. And he's looked good the last 2 innings, I'll tell you that. Williams 0 for 1, walked out in a double play. Here's the pitch to Williams. 1-9. Grounds it to short, 1 away. Now Louis Aparicio. McDowell wind up, and the pitch, 3-11. Pops it up behind the plate. Duke Sims under it, 2 down. And now Gil Hopkins. McDowell in a groove now. Here's the pitch to Hopkins. 5-5. Single 1 to 5. No, it's caught by Nelson. Nice catch by Nelson. And remember Nelson, 2 runs batted in. Nelson really has been quite a Nelson tonight. It's a 1-2-3. We've gone halfway, unless so, I don't know. We have extras or something. 4-1 Cleveland. Osinski pitched 1/3, struck out Baker. It'll be Horton, Harrelson, and Sims. All good hitters. Even though Hawk hit 221 real world, had 30 homers. He can bust out anytime. And Cleveland already with a nice 4-1 lead, and it's a sad thing to think that it's an event almost when the Cleveland club is winning. At this rate, I'm not sure what it'll be. I think it's something in the neighborhood of maybe about 95 losses. I'm just giving an estimate. Oops, ooh, Christ. Okay, here comes Horton now. So lead off the bottom of the 5th. Osinski. And the pitch. That's 6-8. And he taps a single to the right side. Beautiful piece of hitting by Tony Horton. He just tapped that. It's almost like a check swing single to right. And here comes Hawk. You know, no doubt this Cleveland team has talent. Cardinal, Nelson, the way he's playing today. Horton. You know, just Harrelson and Sims. Klimchuk's 2 for 2. So Hawks at bat here in the bottom of the 5th with no outs. Horton on first. Osinski now. And the pitch, 3-11. And he grounds it to second, and that's a double play. No, Horton was not being held. I'd have to say it. He's a D anyway. I have to say it out loud. So that's 2 outs. And here comes the Duke. Duke has power. Singled, walked, scored both times. Meanwhile, Sam McDowell in a zone. 2 out, nobody on. Sims at the plate. Here's Osinski now. And the pitch to Sims. There's a 1-9. And it's hit deep by Sims. Oh, he hit it long, and it's gone. Right over the right field wall, right over the fence. Carlos May just watched it go. It was a line drive home run by Duke Sims. And I told you Sims has power. He hit 18 in only 326 at-bats. That's like 30 a year, give or take. You do the math. Duke Sims, let's look at that again. 1-9. Clean as a baby's ass. Look at that, frickin' clean as at least my baby's ass. I changed my baby's diapers, my one and only, my son, and I loved every minute of it. It's a 1-9. Who thought how did we get on diaper changing? Duke Sims with the first home run of this ball game. And this game is really looking like it's a Cleveland evening with McDowell in a groove, and it's 5-1 now. 2 outs, nobody on. That's the good news for Chicago. And here's Lou Klimchuk, 2 for 2. Here's Osinski now. 6-8. Oh, it's a base hit. His third of the evening. Klimchuk 3 for 3. My Lord. Osinski trying to get out of this. Klimchuk on first. 2 outs, and Eddie Leon. Big Eddie. Here's the pitch. 5-8, grounds it to second, and Hansen tosses it over to Hopkins, and the side is retired. About another run for Cleveland on a home run, a line drive home run by Duke Sims. And after 5, also with 2 outs, everything with 2 outs. It's a 5-1 ball game. Cleveland enjoying a winning evening thus far. And how bad can it be? There's reason for hope because Sam McDowell is pitching. He did allow a run in the second. He walked 3. But since then, he's been Sam McDowell, the real Sam McDowell that we all know and love. And here's Bill Melton now. I'm sorry. Yes, Melton. Bill has struck out twice tonight. Oh, God almighty. Okay, McDowell. Facing Melton. Melton has struck out twice. McDowell has 4 strikeouts. The pitch to Melton, 1-8. Fly ball left, at least he hit it that time. But Baker is right there, 1 down. And Melton is 0 for 3. Here's Carlos. And that is a line out to second, 2 down. McDowell just mowing through this White Sox lineup. Bradford did get a single in the 4th. And the pitch, 5-12. Grounds it to first. That's Horton. And he boots it for a 2-base error. Oh my. Tony Horton charged with a 2 frickin' base error, second error for Cleveland. You may remember that Klimchak booted a ball in the second inning. This time it's Horlen bumbling the ball. So Bradford on second, causing trouble again with 2 outs, and here's Hansen. Anything now unearned. Here's the pitch to Hansen. 6-12. Grounds it to short. Leon over to Horton, and the side is retired. So look, he gets out of that. Not a problem. And people make mistakes. We're heading to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-1 Cleveland. And Sam McDowell gladly steps into the batter's box after, look at him after the second. I don't care how many strikeouts he has or doesn't have. I'm interested for both teams in one thing, a W. Here comes McDowell, Osinski, and the pitch. That's 6-9, he's a lefty, and that'll go through for a base hit. McDowell doing it tonight. And here comes Jose again. Oh, Jose. What a great fucking guy. You get attached to some of these people, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Osinski from the stretch. McDowell on first. Here's the pitch. 3-7. He flies it to center, and Bradford has it for the out, and McDowell stays at first. Now Dave Nelson. Dave Nelson. 1 for 3 today. 3-6. Base hit to right. McDowell goes to second and holds. Look at these Cleveland Indians. Hitting all over the place. And there is action in the White Sox bullpen. And it is Don Sechrist, a left-hander, who is warming. One more hitter walk. Osinski only at 2, and this is his second inning. Is technically was his second inning. Here's Baker now. He's actually pitched 1, but it happens during the second inning. So actually I'm incorrect. It's 1 2/3. One more out, then it starts. Okay. Here's the pitch to Baker, 2-4. Grounds it to first, and the runners will advance. The runners will advance. What the fuck? First and second. It's second and third. 2 outs. My Lord. Somebody help me. And here's Tony Horton now. Osinski trying to get out of this. He's got a chance here. 1-7 struck him out. That's his second. And boy, he got out of a jam there. But that'll be his last inning. Yes, it will. Because there's going to be a hitter for him this inning. So we can now say, Horlen, by the way, in 3 2/3, allowed 4 runs. Osinski came in, pitched 2 1/3. 5 hits. And he allowed 1 run. And it is 5-1. And the new pitcher will be, like I said, Sechrist. But for now, it's the top of the 7th. White Sox batting. They trail by 4, and they're facing a very, very, very tough Sam McDowell. Okay. Don Pavlitic. He's as good as anybody when he's pitching like this. He did have a 2.94 ERA, but anyway, here's the pitch to Pavlitic. 4-4, catcher X, Sims a 3, and he fouls out to Sims, 1 down. And here comes a hitter now for Osinski with Sechrist warming. Coming in to hit is Ken Berry. Berry has been troubled with a groin injury, but he's well enough to get up there and swing the bat. It's 1 out, nobody on. McDowell. And here's Berry now. Right-hander against the southpaw. And the pitch to Berry. 1-11. He grounds it to first, 2 out. McDowell, just almost unhittable since the 2nd inning. Now Walt Williams comes in. Walt is 0 for 2 with a walk. Sudden Sam, 6-6, struck him out. And that's Sam's 5th. I don't give a shit how many strikeouts he has or doesn't have. We're not into that. We're into outs, and we're into a W, regardless of the team. Here's Don Sechrist, the 3rd White Sox pitcher. Horlen came out with an injury, actually. It's we're not sure the extent of it, but I think he'll be okay. It's just his back and upper arm was hurt. So Osinski came in, and now here's Sechrist. Pitching to Hawk Harrelson, bottom of the 7th. Here's Sechrist now. And the pitch to Hawk, 6-11. Grounds it back to Sechrist. He's a 3. And he boots it. Oh, my. That's the first error for the White Sox, and that stings, you know. For Sechrist to the ground ball, it was fairly routine, and he bobbled the ball. Okay, so Hawk is on. I don't think, and he's being held, by the way. I don't think Harden is in the least concerned about Hawk getting on an error by Sechrist. But here we go. Duke Sims now homered in the 3rd. Here's Sechrist. 2-7. And he grounds it to first for the out, but Hawk goes to 2nd. And here's Lou Klimchuk, 3 for 3 with 3 singles, scored a run. It's Harrelson on 2nd and 1 down, bottom of the 7th. Cleveland batting. Got a 5-1 lead over the Chi Sox. Chi Sox shut them out in the first of this 4-game series, 8-0. Tommy John. all the way. Try to finish this game without farting out here. It's Harrelson on second, 1 out. Here's Klimchuk at the plate. Pitch from Sechrist. It's lefty-lefty, by the way. 5-6, and he hits it long to right field, but playable by Carlos May. He makes the catch, and Harrelson holds. So it's 2 outs. And Eddie Leon. Eddie 0 for 3. Again, Harrelson now on second with 2 outs, unearned if he comes in. Pitch to Eddie, 4-8. Chopper to second, shortstop. And Aparicio throws him out. We're going to the top of the 8th. And the score is still 5-1 Cleveland. And back to the mastery of Samuel McDowell. Aparicio, Hopkins, and Melton, top of the 8th. Here's McDowell. Pitch to Aparicio. And he flies it to right field. Under it is Hawk Harrelson for the first out. And it just goes on and on and on. Sam McDowell quietly mowing through. Here's the pitch to Hopkins. 5-3. Grounds it back to McDowell. He's a 3. This could be trouble. This goes through for a base hit. McDowell could not get that. So Hopkins on first with 1 down, top of the 8th. And here's Bill Melton. Bill has not had much luck tonight with Sam McDowell. He struck out twice and flew to left. Hopkins on first, 1 out. Chi Sox trail by 4. Pitch from McDowell. 1-3. Pops it up behind the plate. Oh my. Sims makes the catch. Another one of those. Love those. 2 down. You love those? Those are nice, huh? And here's Carlos May. It's such a weak way to get out, you know? Melton having a tough day, no doubt about it. Okay, McDowell with 2 outs now. Here's Carlos May, lefty-lefty. Carlos 0 for 3. And the pitch, 1-8. And he grounds it to second. Klimchuk over to Horton, and the side is retired. McDowell 3 outs away from the win. Bottom of the 8th now. And McDowell will lead it off. Sechrist still going. This is his 3rd inning. Got into a little trouble each inning. Here's McDowell. And the pitch, 5-5. Left-hander, grounds it to second, 1 down. Now Jose, 2 for 3 and a walk. Singled and scored. It stole a base. Doubled in a run. He's played great baseball. Here's the pitch from Sechrist. 3-5, grounds it to second again. Hanson over to Hopkins, 2 down. For Dave Nelson, who's 2 for 4, 2 singles. He got 2 runs batted in, Dave Nelson. And the pitch, 5-6, and it's hit well, and it's hit deep. And that is a triple by Dave Nelson. A 2-out triple. Oh, my. Dave Nelson having a night. Let's look at that again. 4-6, triple 1 to 8. And that's a 4. So Seacrest allows a triple. A stand-up frickin' triple by Dave Nelson. He's a 1 to 16, by the way. I swear he went to Texas. And here's Frank Baker, 2 outs. And Nelson on third. Real domination here by Cleveland. The pitch to Baker's 6-7. And that is a drive, but it's deep and caught by Walt Williams. That was almost a triple. The side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. That triple by Nelson left on base. And Sam McDowell comes out to win it. Seeking the complete game win. He did allow a fluky run in the second. He walked 2 in the first, but since starting with the third inning, he's been almost unhittable. And it will be Bradford, Hansen, and Pavlitic, a tall order when you trail by 4. And here comes Buddy Bradford. Buddy is 1 for 2 with a walk and scored. McDowell, the pitch to Bradford. 4-7, walked him. McDowell started off tonight with some control problems, but that's his first walk since the second inning. Now Ron Hansen. Hansen 0 for 3, reached on an error. McDowell from the stretch. And the pitch to Hansen. 2-5. Struck him out. And that's the 6th strikeout for McDowell. Here comes Don Pavlitic. Unless he grounds into a double, there'll be a hitter for Seacrest, for Christ's sakes. Here's the pitch to Pavlitic from McDowell. 3-4. Grounds it to second. Nelson, he throws to Horton. Bradford goes to second on the play, though. That's 2 outs with Bradford on scoring position. White Sox down by 4, and there's going to be a hitter here against the left-hander McDowell. Coming in is Whoa. It's going to be Rich Morales. Seldom used, but he's going to get his shot here. A sad place to be. Pinch hitting in the 9th when your team's down by 4, 2 outs, and Bradford on second. Rich Morales, a right-hander, going against McDowell. McDowell going for the complete game win here. The pitch to Morales. 4-4. Catcher X. Sims a 3. 4-3. He pops it up to the catcher, Duke Sims, and the ball game is over. The final score, Cleveland 5, Chicago 1. And the star of the game, with little doubt, Sam McDowell. Sam McDowell, the star of the game. let's crunch our numbers here, and we'll call it a night. The final score, Cleveland 5, Chicago 1. Sudden Sam. McDowell went all the frickin' way. 9 innings. Two hits. And I hardly noticed. I didn't even notice it. 2 hits allowed. He did walk 6. He was having trouble finding home plate in the first and the second. He walked 3 in the second, 2 in the first, then didn't walk a batter again until here in the 9th. He struck out 6, and he allowed 1 run. The loss goes to Horlen. Sechrist came in. He pitched 2. 1 hit that tripled to Nelson. The final line in this game, Cleveland 5 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors. Chicago 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. Just a masterful game by Sam McDowell. If you can separate after the second, if you just look at how good he was, he just started out with some control problems, but then he got himself settled in the 3rd by retiring the side in order. Jerry Ball, you're very welcome. We want to thank everybody here at the Strat-O-Matic Baseball Network for being with us for this special night game, which lasted about an hour and a half. We had Jerry Ball, Ron McGrath, Rich Strickler was here, looking in the text, and of course, our Irish eyes are smiling at Kathy Harden. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Kathy. Stay strong, everybody. Stay well. And we'll get our next game scheduled as soon as possible, and I'll be posting the updated standings tomorrow morning. When I play a night game, I put it all aside. Have a good night.